Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite passive investments. This is a unique investment. If you're not new to my channel, then you're very familiar with this. If you're brand new to my channel, you might not be familiar with this, but this is really being able to invest in gaming platforms. I love this. I talked about this in depth. Part of the reason I love it is part of my history. I talked about in my previous video where I called it my mogul method. You can go back and watch that video, but I want to break down, since I did that video, I had some questions. Now, this has not even launched yet. It says, oops, we're not ready yet. But I want to answer a couple of questions that I had about this. I'm not going to break down how to invest here. I'm going to talk about why I'm investing here and a couple of questions. The mogul method video that I did, I'll put it down in the description. That video really, or down in the comments, I'll pin it as a comment or something. But that video really broke down the how. But the reason that I'm excited, I'm actually very excited. And this is high risk. I'm not telling you what to do. This is what I'm doing. This is not your financial advice. This is high risk. It's high risk because you're making an investment to a brand new business. Over 95% of businesses fail in like their first 3 years or something crazy like that. It's probably even higher when you talk about cryptocurrency businesses and regulations, et cetera, et cetera. But speaking of regulations, it's one of the things that I kind of like about what I'm seeing here. So chips is the number one risk is that they don't succeed. The number one way to be profitable in one of these platforms is they do succeed. Something like TronBet, or now is Wink, or 888 is another one. Those would not necessarily be great investments today, probably because they're already very well established. And I think the best time to get into one of these projects, even with the risk, is early on. Why do I say that? Because I got in early with a couple of projects that are currently out of business, a couple of gaming platforms, and I ROI'd, I got my money back and a great return very, very early on, very quickly. Even before they were in business for several months, but by the time they went out of business, I'd already made a good return. Some of these platforms I've invested in, I'm still earning today, and they have got a couple of months under their belt, and well, one's got several months under their belt, and they're going to continue earning. And I referenced these before. Again, two things I want to talk about here. I want to talk about some questions about what's kind of some updated news. If you're not familiar, if you're not in the Chips Telegram, just to tell you what's going on there, and you should get in the Telegram if you even think you might be interested in this sort of investment. And I also want to talk to you about I'm going to a couple of questions I got because someone said, hey, if it's high risk and I only got $25, someone in my course, my Crypto Passive Profits course, if you want more info about the course, just go subscribe to the newsletter down in the description. But someone in my course said, hey, I only have $25 or only have $50 or whatever, is that too little? That's all I have that I'm willing to part with or risk if something happens to it. And that's the way you should. If you're going to go into something like this, I know the returns can be exciting and it can create a lot of sort of FOMO, fear of missing out. So people want to go in heavy, but you got to keep in mind, all of these platforms are risky, and no matter how good it looks starting out, it has the potential to disappear overnight. That has happened before with other gaming platforms. And I'm excited about this one, and I'll tell you the evidence on why I'm excited, but that doesn't mean that it could not potentially disappear. I briefly mentioned BetFury, just to give you an update on BetFury. Still earning well on BetFury. Still doing, let's see, where we go. My dividends. It's going down a little bit right here, but it's still, going along, making about $6 a day right now. And how do you determine how much we're earning? Based on how much this pool is, how much dilution has happened. Again, I cover that more in the actual mogul method video. Also, GooseBet. GooseBet is down a bit since my last video. Why? I discussed that it has to do with how they pay out. Where BetFury pays out 3% a day of this total. They don't pay out the full thing, so it kind of creates more of a more consistent payout over time. It doesn't go way up. It doesn't go way down. It just stays more consistent. Where GooseBet is a little more erratic, but you get more of the payout is closer to real time. They pay out right now about 11%, and theirs started at 15% when they launched, and it goes down every day. So right now I've been diluted some because I've not mined any more tokens, but I'm getting about $2 and some change a day. And as you can see, I've got about, what's 20 bucks? What's that? $25, 50. So I'm a little over $100, right at $100, depending on crypto prices right there. I got 280 in here, and am I worried about getting it back? No, because as long as they stay around, most of the time you're going to get it all back. So that's a good thing. So I'm not I'm not too worried about that. That's good. Now we're looking at chips, and I want to talk about if you have a small investment. But first, let's look at the what's going on in the Telegram with chips. First of all, 461 members in Telegram, and it's growing. I recommend that you join the Telegram. 461 members, 182 online. Okay, listen. There are groups out there with 400 members and they got like 40 people online or 14 people online. When you see 25% of the people online at any given time on a project that has not even launched yet, that is a solid, active community. That is extraordinary. And if you hang out in the Telegram, which I don't hang out, I normally just go over there and peruse, you'll see that they're very active, very active. But let's talk about this announcement in the Telegram. Mr. Chips has given team special pre-launch permission for chips.gg to open its virtual doors for pre-registrations, and you can register down in the description. That is a referral link for me, by the way, but you can definitely register down in the description. When you sign up, you can also generate your referral link that you can share with as many people as you wish. Please follow the steps below to generate your unique referral ID. Open Chips, register an account with a unique username and email address, log in, and you will find your referral link. And when you log in, it's going to look like, where are we at? It looks like this, and there's your referral link. So you can't actually see anything yet. Now you can share your unique referral ID with as many friends as you want. Yada, yada, there's your referrals. I want to come over here, join the news channel, read our short FAQ. Oh, this is new. I didn't see this. This is a sneak peek of what the website's going to look like. It's looking good so far. It just shows that they're doing some work on it. We've now opened our pre-registration for our community. Okay. How many chips will be available? Total supply of chips will be 100 million at the first level. Every $30 wagered on any game, the player will earn one chip token. We discussed how that works and mining on the mogul method video. With each level, the difficulties increase. How will the profit share system work? All profits wagered from Chips Casino will go into the Chips on-site vault. Every 12 hours, the vault will open up and distribute 50% of its total accumulated funds. From that 50% will go to the staked chips. The remaining 50% will go to Chips Casino team. Profits are paid in all available currencies in the pool. This is the part that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Profits are paid in all available currencies when it comes to, if you have a small amount you want to invest. The more in-depth tokenomics will be released in the lead up to our launch. And just stay tuned, subscribe to my channel. I'll keep you updated on that. Or follow me on the library platform. What tokens can be played with the Chips Casino? You'll be able to play Chips Casino with BTC, ETH, ETH, Bitcoin, ETH, Tron, and USDT, US dollar tether. Will chips be tradable? When? What blockchain will the token be? Yes, chips will be a tradable token. The Chips team aims to have an on-site marketplace for players to sell and buy Chips token, where trading fees will go into the Chips profit-sharing vault. That's very interesting. This should be available within 60 days of site launch. So they're going to do some sort of a internal exchange, at least initially. Do I need Tron Link or MetaMask? No. Chips Casino is a centralized online casino. You'll be provided an address for your account for the coins you choose to deposit on chips.gg. You are free to withdraw your profits at any time and will provide your own address to withdraw to. When are you launching? We cannot give an exact date of launch. Our team date launch is planned before the end of July. We will ensure to announce launch date in advance as soon as it is available. What games will be available on launch? Immediately from launch, we will have dice, slots, live dealer play. Please note that further information will be shared on our social media channels, and more in-depth details will also be provided regarding things such as tokenomics and the Chips token itself. Watch this space. So the team behind Chips is what's got me excited. These are some of the former, kind of the former OGs of Wink, Telegram, some of the moderators, guys that were part of that early on. And, Wink's made some missteps. People don't like some of what they've done. And these guys have basically stepped out on their own to try to make an improvement. And they have a strong reputation in the Wink community. So some of those players are coming over here. I think this is encouraging to the future of Chips. And I think it says that Chips could do really, really well. I also like the fact that Chips is paying out 50% of the pool up front. I mean, I think that gives us a chance to really get a great return really, really fast. So I'm planning to go in this heavy, probably heavier than I've went into any of these gaming platforms. I mean, quite heavy. Now, I wanted to address if you have a small bankroll, like if you're like, okay, I want to dip my toe in, first of all, don't use anything that you don't or that you aren't willing to risk. I cannot stress that enough. But what I recommend out of USD Tether, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, I recommend that you only put Tron on the platform. Now, I know they said that you don't need a MetaMask wallet or you don't need the TronLink wallet. I do recommend that you have a TronLink wallet because you got to have a wallet to begin with. So I will put a video above on how to stake Tron, and so you can kind of learn about the ecosystem of Tron, how to stake Tron, and how to get a Tron wallet. But basically, once you have a Tron wallet, you need to know this is your Tron address. Now, I recommend if you have Bitcoin, and a lot of people in crypto have Bitcoin, that you don't play with Bitcoin, and I'll tell you why. Because when you play with Bitcoin, like over here, there are fees to withdraw Bitcoin. And there's no way to and so if you got a small amount, your dividends are going to be quite small. Even in my case, I mean, if I get $2 a day, if I get $2 in Bitcoin, that's such a small amount in Bitcoin. I mean, this Bitcoin fees can be more than that. So it's just Tron is far cheaper. I mean, just a couple of Tron, make a transaction. It's far cheaper. Sometimes transactions can be, virtually free with Tron. So the Tron is far cheaper, far faster to transact, and that's what I would recommend that you use. That's why you see most people here playing with Tron. So the easiest way to get Tron if you have Bitcoin is using something like SimpleSwap. I'll put a link in the description. It is a referral link. It doesn't cost you anything. Basically, I make a micro percentage of fees, but SimpleSwap is the easiest way. I mean, this is one of the most underrated websites on the planet. And I was going to make a separate video about this, but I figured I would just include this information in here. It's the easiest way to get to cross-chain cryptocurrency. So if you want to go from Ethereum to Bitcoin, specifically in certain altcoins, things like the LBC or the library token, SimpleSwap is the best way to go. The other alternative is going to go create accounts with exchanges. You got to do KYC, AML, all that stuff. It just takes more time. SimpleSwap is just easy. I got to where I use it all the time. I've talked about Binance on my channel. I've talked about KuCoin, but I don't ever use those anymore. I literally just use SimpleSwap because it's just easy. So for example, if you got Bitcoin and let's just say you got, I don't know, 0.005 Bitcoin, and there's a minimum amount, you saw that, and you want to get Ethereum, you can just do that. Or in this case, you want to get Tron, TRX. All you have to do is enter in the Tron address. So in this case, you would come here and I would grab this address and I would put it here and then click exchange. And it's going to give you a page. In fact, I'll do it just so you can see it. You click exchange. And then it's going to give you a place to send your Bitcoin from your Bitcoin wallet or your Crypto.com account or your Coinbase account. God forbid if you're still using Coinbase. You just send your Bitcoin here. Once you do that, then they go out to the various exchanges on SimpleSwap and they will get your Tron and then they will send your Tron back. It takes 30 minutes to an hour. Just depending. Two common cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Tron, it'll probably happen in 30 minutes or less. Typically, the less common the cryptocurrency is or the altcoin, the longer it will take. SimpleSwap's really great for a lot of altcoins that they'll have altcoins here instead of you having to. Sometimes this is before I would go set up, if I was trading a small altcoin, before I go set up some obscure exchange like for LBC tokens, before I go set up some obscure exchange, I'll come here and sell and buy LBC tokens. So this is an easy way if you have Bitcoin to get Tron. And people say, can you use a small amount? If you're going to use a small amount, it's up to you. Just know that you're going to have to use something like Tron. Don't use Ethereum. Don't use Bitcoin. But I'm excited about the future of chips. I think they have a lot of potential, and I think this is gonna go. It has the potential to go really, really, really well. If you want a full explanation on how to make this kind of investment, because you're not just buying a token, you actually have to mine the token. Be sure at the end of this video, watch the mogul method. The mogul method. All right, thank you so much for watching. Remember, crypto equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.